Today, we're going to talk with you, though, about how to build a highly profitable business working with doctors and folks that you can. I have certainly been experiencing out there helping with some other licensees. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to launch an entirely new marketing campaign for our licensees. So there's a lot of exciting things that we're going to share with you today. A lot of firsthand stuff today, and we'll get with that as we kind of go through the webinar this afternoon. Let me get to the next slide here. I'm going to make sure again that you're hearing it. So if you don't mind, if you'll go over into that little area that says chat and or questions and just type something in there, just saying yes, you can hear us, or thank you for joining this afternoon, whatever you'd like to put there. We're going to look at that here in just a moment. Folks, you're visiting here with us on this webinar today with American Business Systems. And yes, we've been around for 25 years, just about to celebrate 26 coming up pretty soon. And before we know it, we're going to be in a whole area of 30 years in business. So it won't take too long. The way this year has gone, and it goes by so quickly. Again, my name's Eric O'Shea. I'll be one of the co-hosts with you this afternoon, along with Patrick Phillips. So we'll get to share some more with some things that Patrick has done. American Business Systems, as you're doing your due diligence, we want to make sure that you're dealing with a reputable company. So you can see here with the Better Business Bureau that we still have an A+ rating. So you can please go check us out there. If you'll go look over in your handouts area, you should see the printout of today's webinar. So you just go see that and you can grab that and follow along with us this afternoon. Now, let me introduce you to our co-host today, not only the co-host, but the founder and the CEO of American Business Systems, and that's Patrick Phillips. Patrick is a well-known author. He's written several books in the process of, I think he's in the middle of 2 or 3 more as he's going through that. One of the things that we're going to be talking with you about is that middle book today, The New Thriving Medical Practice. We're going to share some information about that book. But he's also a contributing editor for the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. As you can see here, he's a member of the editorial board. And really, without any further ado, let me bring him on with us this afternoon. Patrick, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm in a different part of my house because my wife's doing a little remodeling, so I had to get out of her way. So I'm not in my office today, but looks like you're in a different room too there, Eric. So
yeah, we both had to end up in different rooms of our home offices, and so yeah, it was kind of funny. Patrick and I were on here just right before, and my entire video screen went completely gray. And I said, let me just reboot. And you know what happens when you reboot? Nothing comes back in a timely fashion. So
well, Eric, I thought we'd start today with a video showing them a little brief overview of what this business is all about, because we know a lot of you are brand new on here that show up on these webinars. And since this is live, as you can tell, we're going to do a little something different. We're going to show a video that we had prepared. Now, let me point out that it's about doctors and why they decided to outsource their billing. And since that's the business we're in, teaching people how to do the billing for doctors, we thought it'd be interesting if you heard from the doctors themselves. And by the way, Eric, as you know, these are doctors that you and I have met personally. They are actual doctor clients of some of our licensees. So you're actually hearing from some of our licensees' clients, just like you'll have clients once you start signing some doctors up. So I think this is about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, so it's not long, but it'll give you a good picture, an overview of the whole thing. So if you've got a partner or a spouse who's not paying attention, you might invite them into the room and say, hey, they're going to show a little overview of the whole thing right quick. And so we'll get that started. I'm going to turn off my webcam. That'll save some bandwidth here, Eric.
Very good. And here we go.
It's been said that no job is finished until the paperwork is done. Nowhere is this more true than in the field of healthcare, where the volumes of paperwork are so huge that some medical professionals report spending more time filling out forms than treating patients.
On a day-to-day basis, practicing, I have a ton of paperwork. I have charts that have office notes from patients I see. I have follow-up lab reports, test reports to the right people. So a lot of time is spent not only seeing patients, but doing the paperwork that goes along with that. So probably for every hour I see patients, I'm spending at least 30 minutes worth of paperwork.
Doctors say one of the most tedious and time-consuming tasks for any medical office is dealing with the paperwork from insurance claims.
The complications of trying to do your own billing are greater than anything we do in medicine. It seems like with over 30 different insurance companies that we probably bill from, not even including our uninsured patients, there's absolutely no way. You don't have a chance.
To combat the problem, many medical practices and healthcare facilities are seeking help by outsourcing medical billing.
When medical providers outsource their billing, it makes them and their staff, of course, more efficient. It frees up their time so they can spend more quality time with their patients. And of course, it increases their cash flow, which is what it's all about. And for the patients, of course, the patients are getting to spend more quality time with the doctor and the staff because the doctor and the staff are not having to spend all that time filing the insurance claims and doing the paperwork up front.
Recent mandates by Medicare are already forcing doctors to move to some form of electronic claims processing. But many practices say that dealing with the bureaucracy and constant changes in codes and procedures makes this a daunting task. Outsourcing seems to provide one solution.
The process for the Medicare billing is, with the electronic claims, is very difficult unless you outsource, because to do that in your office takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money to buy the software to do the electronic claims. So you pretty much have to outsource to save yourself money, basically.
From a billing standpoint, I have outsourced my billing. This allows me to not have to provide the overhead of an individual that I would have to pay to do my coding, do my billing, make sure that we're compliant with all of the regulations from Medicare and the other health insurance companies.
With the first wave of baby boomers reaching retirement age, it is predicted that over 70 million seniors will be in need of health care by the year 2030. As a result, the Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts that medical billing is poised to be one of the next major growth industries.
According to age researcher James Coughlin, he says that the spur of baby boomers will increase over the next few years and generate new technologies and new innovations in the healthcare system. And he also goes on to say that every 7 seconds there is a baby boomer turning 50 years old.
Outsourcing of medical billing to legitimate and reputable firms may make the healthcare industry more efficient, while at the same time provide a unique business opportunity to many entrepreneurs.
Medical billing is a great business to get into right now because in the United States there's over 3 billion medical claims filed every year, $25 billion spent filing those claims. And so for people who are trained properly to go out and actually do that for the doctors, it is a wide open opportunity.
Basically, the reason I chose to get into the medical billing profession is when I decided I wanted a home-based business. I wanted control over my time and my money.
I decided to look for something that was compatible with the skills that I had, and medical billing fit those particular needs. I've been doing medical billing for going on 4 years, and I've been very successful at it. As a matter of fact, I'm successful beyond my wildest dreams. I didn't think I would be where I am today. I didn't start this business with the attitude of becoming big, which I've gotten. I started this business with the attitude of just doing something 2 or 3 days a week. So it's blossomed into something much more than that.
The future of medical billing is all going paperless, which includes both electronic medical records and medical billing. And this is why it's such a great idea to get into medical billing now, because it's so easy to do, and this is the way of the future.
Okay. Hey, Eric, did you see Lou McKendall in there right there at the end?
I
You
do.
know, he was retired from, I think he was in automobile sales, and he retired and said he was just looking for something to pay his golf fees so he could go out on the golf course and his wife wouldn't get on him for spending so much money on the golf fees. And then it turned into a huge business. He hired employees, had an office and so forth. But as you saw, a lot of licensees just still work from their home. Like Marilyn and others there that were in the video. So anyway, hopefully that gives you folks a better overview. Now, Eric, I thought we'd start today with just telling people about the support that they get, because you know, when you get into a business opportunity or a franchise, that's your biggest question is what what kind of support am I going to get once I've gone through your training? And so we've got a picture there of our licensee support site, which really doesn't do it much justice. Eric, maybe you could pause and actually go to the site there. I'd like to kind of guide through just pieces of the site so we can actually show them what's there. It'll kind of be a behind the scenes peek at it, because of course this is just for our licensees. It's proprietary information. So anything you see there today, please, I'll hold up this little thing that will blind you and make you forget everything that you're about to see. Okay. That's
all right. So I think I've got it right here. So you should be able to see it here, and we're looking at it actually live right now. We've got right here on November the 20th, 2019. So far, 76 registrants for the HIPAA webinar. Patrick, you want to tell everybody what that's about here, even for those that are on the
yeah. Look, you can see the post right before that's called "Done for You" webinar on HIPAA. Now, HIPAA is, everybody knows, that's got to do with the privacy of the patient data and so forth, and that's a very important part of your business. Well, we're doing this webinar not for you, not for our licensees, although we do a lot of training for our licensees. This is for your prospects. So our licensees are going out and inviting doctors. We got 76 people who've registered for this webinar already, Eric. This is still 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. Yeah, December 3rd. So this is one of the things we do to help you get clients. People ask us all the time, well, what do you do to help me get a client? Well, this is one of them that we do for you. And this is through our organization that we'll talk about here a little bit later called MERMA, the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. But anyway, there's our news page. We post all kinds of stuff. Look, Eric, go on the right-hand side and kind of scroll down there so they can see how far back that goes. I think we started this back in October maybe of 2014. Anyway, folks, there are literally hundreds of posts on this site that you can go back and look at. All of these are still out there for our licensees who are signing up and going through our training even this week. So good stuff on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, I mean, you do get a lot of information on this licensee support site. And like Patrick was mentioning to you, the webinar that we're doing today is going to be very similar to the one that we're going to be doing December the 3rd for our licensees. And again, this is for them to go market to their doctors to get them to a webinar that we're doing on HIPAA. I'm telling you, we're making it as best as we can to help you get out there and go get doctors and get engaged with the local doctors in your area. I think that's probably one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people think of when they get into this business. They go, I don't know any doctors, and so I think you need to give me a list. Well, if I gave you a list of doctors, you still don't know those doctors. And so what this does, this gets you engaged with those doctors. They get to know you as the subject matter expert through MERMA, and we're here to help you with that all along the way.
So our licensees are going out, they're inviting office managers and doctors that they run across out in the market to this webinar. And we'll show you how you engage with them. But the point is, as you can see, it's working because 76 have already signed up, and we just started this a couple of weeks ago. So it's going to be a huge crowd that's there. We do the webinar. Nothing is mentioned about American Business Systems, but we do just tell them, look, get back with the person who invited you to this webinar, and they'll tell you more about how you can solve all the problems in your practice. Look at all the different topics, and every one of those is a page full of information. Pre-recorded webinars, training, documents, downloads, resources of all kinds, marketing materials. All of this is just really behind the scenes privately for our licensees, but we're just kind of giving you a little peek at it there. See, there's a webinar there we posted on 2 or 3 subjects there. So anyway, I just thought that'd be a good thing for you folks to see who've been on the webinars before. Now, back to people who've never been on these, Eric. Let's go back to support, because that's pretty important no matter what the business is about. Once you've gone through the training, how do you get support? And we've got a whole group of people out there. I mean, literally over 100 people coast to coast that can support our licensees.
You bet. Yeah. And not only do you have it locally, but you got it corporately, so we're all here to help you with that. And one of the ways that we're doing that, we're really launching going into next year, beefing up this MERMA site. Patrick, you want to talk about what MERMA is, and then I've got it ready to show live if we want to take a little a little tour of that as well.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you do that, Eric? I'll explain to folks that this is an organization that actually certifies our licensees. You go through their training. At the end of that, they give you a certificate that certifies you as a medical revenue manager. And if you want to go out to the site, it's myrma.org, as you can see there, right in the upper left-hand corner of the logo. And when you get there, of course, you'll find out that it's pretty limited in the site itself because this is for our members. But it's also a nice place to point the doctors. If the doctors are wondering, well, who certified you? You can point them to this site. Go to the About Us there, Eric, and just show them that we have a wonderful board of advisory board of people who are partners with us, people who are part of our staff, licensees, and other people who've actually gotten involved in this. And I think it's paused at this point, Eric. We don't see that About Us.
Yeah, well, I did.
Anyway.
I was scrolling through it, and now I see it's going through there.
Yeah. So as you can see, we're going to talk about Dr. Vicki Ratner, who is, the chairwoman of our board, and also our medical marketing director for helping our licensees to get in contact with doctors. We've got our lead instructor, Cynthia, there, who, if you join us, you'll be able to actually go through her training one-on-one, just like we're doing this webinar. You'll be with just her, nobody else on it but you and her. And then, of course, we've got our support director there, Tim Warren. We've got, who's this guy? I know this guy. He's our education director for Myrma. That's Eric himself right there. And then we've got software people. Just keep on scrolling there. I'm not going to name all these, but anyway, every one of our services, we've got people on there, including CEOs of different companies who are just a part of this advisory board for you as licensees. So it's a very credible organization that you can be proud to point the doctors to. Go check it out and you'll find out more about it out there.
Yeah, and folks, I mean, if you think about it, these are new services and new support mechanisms that we're helping you every part along the way. Again, for the main reason is, and that is to help you grow your business, because obviously you're going to invest some money, but then you need to know how to take what we're going to teach you and then go invest it in yourself. And you need these support associations and the support mechanisms like through the ABS-LSS. So we've got everything covered for you through there.
Yeah, and we'll show you here in a moment that we actually do, Myrma does for our licensees ongoing training. So once you're a member of Myrma, as you are automatically when you go through their training, and you're a licensee of American Business Systems, all of a sudden you have access to all of the training that's available, not only on their site, but we do those trainings live 2 or 3 times a month, right here live over the internet for our licensees. Those are usually on Fridays, by the way, but they're all recorded, so you can always go to our licensee support site we showed you earlier and view those in the future.
Yeah, so let's keep moving on. I mean, the next section that we want to talk about is LinkedIn. And you can see that Myrma has a LinkedIn page. We actually aggressively show you how to work LinkedIn, because this is where, and I've shared this with Patrick, that we're starting to see some of our licensees actually get phone calls from doctors from different locations of the United States. So if you're looking for a way to be out there in the marketplace where you're getting past that, what you think of as the gatekeeper, the LinkedIn sites are one of those ways. And then since Myrma already has a site out there, LinkedIn, you just join all of this, and then that puts you into this big social media networking out there on the internet.
Yeah, it's huge, folks. This organization, as you can see, we're pointing to it there. We have 247 members. Now, this is optional, of course, for our licensees to go be a part of the LinkedIn group with Myrma. But once they are, now they can communicate with one another. So you have 247 other people that have started this business. They are licensees, they are members of Myrma, and you can communicate with them through this site. So it's a wonderful board. We used to call these bulletin boards or forums on the internet, where you can just communicate with anybody that's a member of it. So, yeah, and it's a great place and a great resource. We just wanted to show you that we also have that through Myrma available to our licensees as well. Again, folks, there's no extra cost for any of this. Everything we're telling you today is a part of our licensing fee. Now, if you haven't seen what that is on our site, it's about $27,000. This is like a franchise. So yes, there's a fee up front, but that includes everything, including lifetime support, which gives you access to all of these things.
I'm looking over the question box, and Melinda said that she's having some trouble hearing us. She goes that she was going to leave because she said she's missing everything, or missing everything that's good. If I could get some other volunteers to let us know, are we coming through okay volume wise? We've got this little volume indicator for our microphones showing that we're where we need to be. But if we could get a couple of people in here just letting us know that we're being heard okay. And just waiting. Okay, yeah, HUD said still loud and clear, so that's good. I appreciate that, sir. If there's anybody else, just let us know. But Melinda, if you're having trouble, it may be, it could be one of your speakers. I don't know, but you know, we're seeing the volume here. Hopefully it's going to work out for you.
There's Jeff says sound okay. Tamara says I can hear you as well. So I think that's just a problem with Melinda's computer. Okay.
Yeah, so going on, one of the things that you're going to have is a platform. Patrick, you know, it's interesting. Just today, I was actually meeting with a financial advisor who actually works with some doctors, and then during that time, I got followed up on with another doctor that might be looking for an EMR system, and because the one that they have right now they don't like. And I go, I've got the one for you for sure. Let's talk about our platform here, why it's so unique.
Yeah, so folks, there's different components of medical billing. One of them, of course, is the practice management system. Now, we call it that because that's something that you can actually give access to the doctor and their staff to, because we've got an online scheduler that they can use, and we have ways of them making sure that the patients are actually qualified and ready to be paid, you know, from the insurance companies. There's a word I'm searching for there, Eric. I don't know what that's called, but anyway, for some reason, I think the drugs I'm on is probably not helping there. I got a little back pain going on, so it may be the painkiller that's kicking in right now. What's that called? Eligibility, that's the word, thank you.
There you go, okay.
So you've got this, and this, of course, is the software that is our cloud-based billing system. It literally is in the cloud. You can log in from any computer anywhere in the world that has internet access. Then, tied in with that, the doctor will want to use, most of them, an electronic medical records system. And some of them have it, some of them don't. Like Eric ran across a doctor that didn't have one or doesn't like it. And so we've got EMRX. That's tied in with ours. And these are not separate software now, folks. This is all written and hosted by the same company. We've got a bunch of nerds in a room that we throw pizza and Pepsi to every once in a while. They wrote all of this, and so they're not separate companies. We don't piece and patch things together like some software is out there. Then we have the clearinghouse, which I think we're going to show that a little bit more clearer later. Very important. They do this claim scrubbing and the submissions to the insurance companies. And then Eric, we've got one of the best patient portals out there. You know that there's a medical billing business opportunity out there that's just selling basically telemedicine, which we have built into the patient portal. The doctor can see patients and bill them for visits right through our patient portal.
You bet. Yeah. So if, again, you know, when you're going out there and you start to market and you are starting to talk with some doctors, you're going to find out that a lot of doctors are on different practice management systems. Sometimes a completely separate company that is doing their EMR system. Sometimes you have both of those together, but not the two bottoms. You may have the two to the side, but not the EMR. This system is one that is all together, and it is a cloud-based system, folks. We know that anything and everything out there today is a cloud-based system. And Patrick, you know, 12 years ago, whenever you and I were just kind of getting started off here, and even doing some of the webinars that we're doing, we were just getting into the cloud area there, but we haven't looked back since. And that was one of the best moves we've ever made, is to go to more of a cloud-based billing software. But sometimes even our own competitors, they haven't even moved there yet. But all of it, you know, IT information, internet information, that's where it's all going and has gone.
Here's a question you can ask any software platform that you run across out there that says they're cloud-based. Ask them this. Can I go buy a brand new laptop and take it to McDonald's and hook it up to their internet, their Wi-Fi, and log into your system and start doing billing from there instantly with no downloads to the computer at all? That's true cloud-based billing software, and we're the only one we have out there that has all of the four components that you just saw on the screen there.
Yeah, so we're illustrating here what we mean. Typically, what you're going to have is a billing software, and I'm going to put a little check on top of that right there. So imagine that is separate inside of a computer system. Probably it came on a CD where you had to actually load it on there. And that's what we're talking about. Now, some people think that as long as you can get information off the internet, that makes it a cloud-based system. Not necessarily.
Right.
But anyway, that's set separately outside of the system. Then the clearinghouse, as you can see here, sits in the middle. So this clearinghouse will take claims from over here, and they go over into here. Now, just follow along with me, everybody. So what happens here is that these claims get inside this clearinghouse, and then what happens there, some of those claims might even be rejected and then sent back over here without ever going to the insurance company, as you can see here. Since that sits outside of the system, it may take 2 or 3 days before you even know that you got denied claims from the clearinghouse. If some of those claims actually do get to the insurance company, like from over here, some of those claims could get rejected at the insurance company and then sent back over to here as well. So if you can see the potential problem here, you could get claims rejected at the clearinghouse, you could get claims rejected at the insurance company. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means the doctor ultimately is not getting paid. Why our system is so different, if I go to the next slide over here and erase this, you can see that our clearinghouse literally is built inside of our system. So when we're processing claims, those claims are going directly to the insurance companies. And because we have what I like to talk about it's like a direct connect to the insurance companies. And what Patrick was saying, trying to think of a while ago, is that checking insurance eligibility. Since we're already there, we're already able to check patient insurance eligibility in real time with these insurance companies to make sure that everything's going to go through smoothly, which involves or ends up getting that doctor paid. So we're getting the doctors paid much quicker because there's just not a lot of moving parts to it. Yeah. We're going from here to the insurance companies back into here. It just makes it so much simpler.
Well, and Eric, you know, people talk about rejection of insurance claims. There's a huge number of companies that are out there, the clearinghouses, that don't have what we call a first pass acceptance rate that's acceptable. In other words, some of them have even up to 10, 15% of even the first pass rejected. Some of them even up to 30%. But in our case, since we are the clearinghouse, the buck stops here, right? We have to get them through, and it's less than 2% on that final payment of the claims. That can mean a huge amount of money in a doctor's pocket that they wouldn't have otherwise. So not only do we get them paid quicker, and they get the money in their bank account faster, we get a lot more money for them.
You bet. But folks, we know that you could go to anywhere to go learn how to do medical billing. Medical billing is a good business to be in. And Patrick, Entrepreneur, thinks so much that they actually produce a book. It may be on a 4th edition by this time, but you know, let's talk about what they've got, a step-by-step guide to success in medical billing.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Entrepreneur Magazine, then you haven't been in a bookstore lately and looked at the magazine rack, because they've all got Entrepreneur Magazine on there. They've been around for 50 years, I think. Well, they have a series of books on how to start up various businesses. This is the one on starting your own, what they call a medical claims billing service. Now, we teach you to do much more than just the medical claims, but that's a good way to think of it. And it's a good book. I mean, it's only about $20. It's worth probably investing just to find out more about this business. And Eric, as you know, we bought the book ourselves this was a while back, and our name is right there listed in the book. We didn't pay for that. We didn't ask for it. We didn't even know it was there until we got the book and opened it up, and there it is. But that's because we've been around so long. They just found us probably on the internet and said, hey, this company obviously sells a business opportunity, putting people into the business of doing medical billing. So just so you know, it's a valid, real business. You know, there's a lot of businesses out there, Eric, that are just scams. This one, I think, is going to be around a while, don't you?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I would say I'm going on 12 years with you, so I've been here for a little bit of time for sure. You know, one of the things people want to know is what happens if they already have a biller in-house. I actually made this statement to a doctor the other day. and he actually agreed with me that if a doctor has an in-house biller, they're probably losing money.
Yeah.
They get it now.
Well, that's because the people who work for a doctor are paid usually by the hour. They don't have any incentive to make sure that the claims get paid, not to follow up on the claims, and to maximize the revenue for the doctor. You do, as a licensee, you'll be charging usually around 6 to 7, maybe 8%, depending on the doctor, the type of specialty, the volume of claims that they have. We help you with all that pricing, by the way. That's part of our support. But the point is that, as you can see from this chart here, we're not going to go through the thing. You can download the slides. Do we have those in the handout, Eric?
Yes, those are in the handout.
Okay, download the slides and look at this very carefully. You'll see that the doctors are going to spend up to $65,000 doing it themselves with their own people in-house because of all the hidden costs of having employees. They'll be outsourcing to you for as little as, like we said, 6%, and they would only pay you about $28,000, but that's what you earn from one doctor doing their billing at even 400 claims a month.
Right. Yep.
Kind of a fast overview of that, but download the slides and study that one carefully, folks. That can help you realize that there's a huge market out there for this.
You bet. Matter of
Hey,
fact,
there's a couple of questions I wanted to address, Eric. One of them was, can I earn money with the webinars networking? Yes. In fact, that's what we teach our licensees to do, is to have their prospects come to our webinars, and then they follow up with those doctors and office managers and get in and do what's called a practice analysis. That's something we teach you to do, and that's your door opener. That gets you in the door. Somebody else said something about, I understood what the Myrma was all about, but what is a webinar? Well, you're watching a webinar. It comes from the word seminar, but it's not with live people in a room. It's a webinar over the web. So we do that for you through Myrma to help you get leads, like Eric said.
Yep, you bet. I just printed that out, and I need to make sure I can go find it here. I thought I had it uploaded, but I'm going to get that up there for everybody here.
I can do that, Eric. I have the slides open here.
I've got it right here. I'm dragging it and dropping it right over there right now.
Yeah, so in the control panel for a GoToWebinar, it may be shrunk down somewhere on your screen there. Open that up and look for the little section called Handouts. Click the little arrow to the left of that, and it'll open it up, and you'll see we have a couple of handouts in there. One of them I'll talk about here a little bit later.
Yep. Until we get that uploaded, we'll show this to you. But I mean, it's just not just us saying that doctors are needing help. There's a company out there called Black Book Rankings, and folks haven't followed them. Yep, I'll get that up there. You follow them just to make sure that you know really what's going on and kind of be in the know. The 87% of all physicians prefer a single vendor for their RCM. That's revenue cycle management and their software.
Yeah, their electronic health records. So in other words, what this is saying, folks, is that we, again, one of the rare companies that have the RCM and the EHR software all in one. We are the single source. Ask anybody you're talking to about getting into this business, if they sell software of some kind, if all of theirs is a single source. In other words, did they actually develop and support and upgrade their own software? Many companies are just using open-ended software that's out there on the internet, folks, and they try to piece it together with bubblegum and baling wire, as we say here in Texas. And so doctors don't like that. They want it all in one source, because if somebody has a problem with one or the other, what happens is the RCM software company says, oh, that must be the problem with the EHR. Go to that vendor and talk to them, and vice versa. With ours, again, the buck stops here. We control everything.
You bet. Yep. It all stops right here, right on top of us. And so, and the doctors like that. They like just to know that they can go to one person, one software. And again, you know, a lot of support that we actually have, again, behind the scenes, is we wanted to kind of show you another section of our support. Patrick, you want to share a little bit about what this group is all about?
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the services that you can offer, but our partners, we call them, our technology partners, have staff that are dedicated to supporting you, the ABS licensee, because we've partnered with those companies. They have people that'll support anything from implementing the software in the doctor's office, getting you and your staff and the doctor's staff trained on how to use it. They'll do everything and handhold you through that whole thing. Now, we have our own support staff, but those people are dedicated to you, helping you to find clients and do the proposals and do the pricing and get clients. Once you've gotten clients, our partners take over and support you on that end as well.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just checking to see if there's any particular questions that have come in. Folks, again, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask those questions. We will certainly see what we can do to help you out here. And if you go look in your handouts, we've got that complete handout over there for you. You can start downloading that now. Another area of your support that you get here, again, is a very well polished looking website. Because Patrick, again, this is one of those first things as people are trying to, they're excited about their business. They're probably about excited about even going out and getting their business cards and everything. And all of a sudden they go, oh my gosh, I got to build a website. What do I do now?
Yeah.
This is included in your package here at ABS.
I think you're paused. I'm not sure, but we don't see the websites at least. Yeah, and folks, now look, you can define the word professional any way you want to. What we mean by that is that these look like you're a real business. It's not something you just created on your own somewhere out on the internet. These are already designed. They already have all the text, all the graphics. As you can see, there's a good selection of them. You can pick the one you want, and we will personalize those for you with your name and your logo at the top and on different parts of the website. So that's just all included in your price. You don't have to go spend $3,000 or $4,000 on a website.
Yeah. Great question from Jeff. Jeff saying, hey, what happens if I become ill and I need someone else to do billing for me? One of the reasons why if you get your doctor on that cloud EMRX platform, really just about any of us can step in there and do that for you. So whether it's someone here at ABS corporate, or we've got one of our licensees that can take care of that issue for you for just a little bit until you're ready to go, that's not a problem. So Jeff, we should be able to have you covered there. Not a problem at all.
Yeah, Jeff, that's part of being a part of the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies. We're all a family. And of course, we have people that would love to take over your billing, even if it's for a short period of time. If you're on vacation to Tahiti for a month, or you're sick for a period of time, we have people that will take that over. Now, that's not going to be free. You're going to share a percentage of that revenue, of course, with that person. That's only fair, right? You'd want the same thing if you took over somebody else's billing. But since we're all in the same system, Eric's right. It's pretty simple just to give us the login for that period of time. You can always change that login anytime you want to, since you're in charge of the system for your doctors, and lock us out. But you can turn that over and let us do that billing for you. We're more than willing to help you with that. Yes, one of the benefits of being a part of our network.
You bet. Thanks, Jeff, for that question. That was great. Moses is saying how to download the handout. So again, over in your control panel, you should see where you're typing in questions, and it should also have a little place there where it says handout. So just click on that little area, that little button right there. It should show all of that.
And then you should be able just to click on the name of the handout, and it should just download to your computer there.
Right down your computer. No. Jeff says, thanks. Absolutely, he's got it. Okay, so let's talk about not only just the website, but now the marketing material, because again, you need marketing material out there. Obviously, you can go out there and start and try to do all of your own marketing material, but there's no sense, again, to reinvent the wheel. So we've got books, we've got flyers, we've got postcards, we've got the nice presentation folders. Obviously, you might write some letters, stick those in those presentation folders along with some of the flyers that we have here, and maybe even hand out a book or two. Patrick, let's talk about some of these books that we have here.
Yeah, look, folks, you could spend way more than $27,000 just developing these materials, just having them developed, not to mention the pricing, the printing. You get over 2,000 of these flyers, of course, and postcards are included in your initial license fee. But the books are the real key here. So Eric, let's talk about those books, because wow, we've got some great business partners out there. I mentioned earlier, the advisory board has our Dr. Vicki Rackner, who we've partnered with for the past 3 or 4 years, and she's written probably a dozen books. There's some of them there on the screen. She's also been interviewed on lots of TV and radio and podcasts on the internet. She's a very famous retired general surgeon who was once an instructor there at the Washington School of Medicine, and now she helps people like our licensees who want to connect with doctors. So you've got a doctor as a partner. Literally, she will write you a letter of introduction that you can hand out to your doctors in your area that introduce you. It doesn't get any better than this, Eric.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, again, we were talking about books. Dr. Ratner has helped you co-write some of these books. She's written some of the books for us. So as licensees, when you've got partnered with the marketing material that you see there, then you're partnered with a business partner as Dr. Vicki Ratner, and then one of those books can actually be personalized for you, for your doctors. This is where it gets really good here, Patrick.
Yeah, now this book that I co-authored with Dr. Ratner is The New Thriving Medical Practice. And it's written for doctors, so it's a paperback book, about 200 pages. You can find it on the internet on Amazon for $24.95. Folks, you can have copies of this. We initially give you 25, I think, with your name printed on the front cover. Now let that sink in for a moment. You have now partnered with a doctor and are a co-author with her on a book. It does not get any more stronger than that for credibility's sake. Eric, can you blow that? Can you stretch that graphic up? I think you're in edit mode there. So can you just stretch that?
I can. Let's see. I certainly can. You're right. I can blow this thing up here.
That down at the bottom there, you'll see that what he circled earlier there is it says forward by, and then it has somebody's name there. That would be your name, comma, CMRM. Remember, we certify you as a certified medical revenue manager. That's what that stands for. But here's the point. You can write your own forward with our okay, of course. And we have one already written that's generic enough to where you can just put your name on it. And it's great because on the inside of the book, then you'll see that you can actually put your contact information. So it's a great marketing tool. Now, I started to say that even though this is $24.95 on Amazon, you purchase these books after the first 25, that's included, in any quantities you want for $4 a book. Now think about that for a second. A paperback book with your name on the cover for $4. Eric, do we have the inside of the book there that you can show? I thought that was one of the slides.
Absolutely. I've got it right here.
Yeah. And there it is. As you can see at the end of the forward there, it's a 2-page forward. There's your contact information. So folks, this is the best business card you could possibly hand out. And we don't just have you hand it to a doctor. We teach you how to mark up the book, highlight certain passages, and put little sticky flags on it so that the doctor gets the book and turns and reads your highlighted sections. They don't have to read the whole book that way. They love that, don't they, Eric?
Yeah. Well, and again, folks, what we're trying to show you here is that you need a system. That's why you're coming to American Business Systems. We've got all the systems. We're improving those systems every month. And that's why you saw we didn't hide it from you what we're doing with our licensees right now, where we're doing webinars for them to help them drive more business for their doctors. Imagine, just like what you're going through right now, today's webinar, we're going to have a separate webinar just for you to push doctors to a webinar to give them information about HIPAA compliancy. You follow that up with that doctor with a book, with your name on it, with all your credibility on there. And then you've got all of the other Advantage platforms. Again, we were talking about iClaim and EMRX, but we're going to show you again a little bit more back behind the scenes for some of those, because I know that has to do with all the billing. But then there are other value-added services that we have. Patrick, let's first of all talk about Audit Guard.
Yeah, folks, you know that of course doctors can accidentally miscode their claims, and if they do that, they can be fined by Medicare up to $10,000 per error, Eric.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, this service that you can sell to doctors, that's performed by one of our technology partners, they'll review the doctor's charts from certified medical coders and identify possible coding errors. The doctor could be losing up to 30% of their revenue because they don't have the right codes. Well, they don't have to hire a coder for $45,000 a year to sit in their office. They can use our service, Audit Guard, to guard them against the Medicare fraud that's being performed out there by some medical providers.
Right.
So it's a great service. These are services you don't have to do a thing, but actually sign the doctor up. Then our technology partner does all that for you, and it's a done for you service. If you make money on it, but it's also a great door opener, Eric. All these that we're going to talk about here get you in the door talking to the doctor about something. Quick Collect, tell them a little bit about that, Eric.
You bet. I mean, obviously, folks, as you can see here, managing receivables is sometimes the last item on that to-do list. And so you may go into a doctor's office and start engaging with them. You may start talking with the office manager and come to find out that their accounts receivables is huge. And all of a sudden now you've got to, what can you do with that? Well, you do have service with American Business System to help get that money back in the doctor's office. This may be the starting to get you into the door to actually do the billing. So you can utilize some of these services without even doing the billing. So it's not like you have to have this in order for you to do billing. Patrick said this could be one of the door openers that actually gets you into the door just talking to the doctor. It could be the coding, it could be Quick Collect, it could be this next one, which is Choice Pay. And then, folks, we know that as we turn the clock here and go from 2019 to 2020, guess what happens all over again? All new deductibles start all over again. And those deductibles aren't coming down. Those deductibles either going to stay the same or go up. And now we're going to need a way for those patients to pay those higher deductibles without bankrupting the patient. But at least the doctor paid, and Choice Pay is that service there for that doctor.
Eric, go back to the previous slide there. I had a licensee I interviewed just a couple of weeks ago, Jason Harvey, who said he ran into a doctor who had like $500,000 in bad debt out there from his patients. Well, folks, if we could only collect a small percentage of that, say 30 or 40%, the doctor would be thrilled with that, right? Because that's money that they would have to just write off on their taxes at the end of the year. They'd rather have the money in the bank.
You
and
bet.
We can help them with that. Yeah.
You bet. Then another service that, again, is totally separate from medical billing, and that's iDocs Now. Patrick, you'd like to talk about that one, because us being such a cool company, where do you even put a filing cabinet?
Yeah, you can walk into our offices and ask for the filing cabinets. You won't see any. Every piece of paper that comes in from anybody, whether it's electronic or literally mailed to us, is all scanned into iDocs Now. Now, folks, this is an online, not just storage of documents, but a complete document retrieval, meaning it's HIPAA compliant, it's private, it can be shared with anybody that you want to, that document, and it's still under HIPAA rules and regulations. Right. And you can search every document that you scan in there. Eric, I love it, because anytime I'm looking for anything, I go in there and put in a keyword, and it looks through thousands of documents that we have stored and finds the documents with that keyword or phrase in it. Unlike anything you've ever seen, Dropbox and some of those others that are out there, yes, they'll store your documents, but you can't look at it as a document retrieval system. So This is my favorite one. One of our licensees says he would not be able to run his business without this.
Of course, yeah, and that's just what it's getting, because nobody wants you may be working out of your home, you could be working out of a small office, and the last thing you need to do is fill up a room with paper. So you need something there, and it has to be HIPAA compliant, which leads us to one of our last services we want to talk with you about today, which is what we're doing with our licensees come December the 3rd. Imagine that you are already a licensee right now. You would have the opportunity to start marketing this to the doctors today and saying, hey, get this. I'm gonna tell you how it's done. You just need to know how easy this is. Imagine taking this flyer and another flyer that has the invitation to the webinar. You go to a doctor's office and say, hey, hi, I'm what your name may be. I'll use Jeff. Jeff Billings is there. So Jeff, you may say, hi, I'm Jeff, and I'm with XYZ company. I'm here to see your compliancy officer today. And you kind of let it just sit there a little bit. And
they look like a deer in the headlights, don't they?
Kind of like, oh my gosh, what are they here for? And then finally, what happens is that office manager comes out, because usually they are the compliancy officer. Guess what? You've had your first meeting. you've had your first meeting and you kind of broke through what you think is the glass, and you've gotten to what you think of as the gatekeeper. And this is what you tell them next. Hi, I am, again, whatever your company with, and we're working with local doctors, helping them to make sure that they're HIPAA compliant for 2020. We're here to invite you to a free webinar to make sure that you're lined up, and we're going to give you a free risk assessment at the end of the webinar. Would you like to attend? Patrick, we know the success that's already happening with that.
That's right. It's been proven already. It gets you in the door. Like you said, Eric, it gets your first meeting. People are always worried about that. How do I get past the glass, there in the doctor's office? This is one way you do that. Hey, by the way, these fines from Medicare for HIPAA
yes.
problems can be up to $25,000.
Well,
we had an article about a doctor who lost their laptop. And on that laptop it wasn't a cloud-based system like ours. So the patient data was on that laptop, and they got fined millions of dollars, put them out of business.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, so folks, and again, this for so many people, they want to know for the billing side, can I do billing for dentists? For the iClaim EMR, that is for medical doctors only, not dentists. However, HIPAA compliancy, you can market this to dentists, to eye doctors, to physicians, to clinics, to small rural hospitals. This will all work. So imagine that you had several of these little doctors all over the place, maybe a nursing home, maybe a rural hospital, and you're getting money through all of this, all through that too. And guess what's happening? You've marketed yourself, so now people know who you are. And guess what happens? People go, oh, well, gosh, Jeff has helped me with my HIPAA compliance, but I think he also does billing. And all of a sudden, now your phone's starting to ring because, again, you've made your exposure out there. And that's what we're trying to help you do.
Yeah, that question from Jeff, he's got a great question there. He says, I know it was mentioned earlier, but I missed it. These customer webinars that we're doing, like on December 3rd, they're separate from these Wednesday webinars. Yes, Jeff, these webinars are for people like you looking at getting into our business. So on these webinars that we do for our licensees, they're done under the auspices of the organization MIRMA, the Medical Revenue Management Association, and they're unbranded. They have nothing to do with us. They basically just tell the doctor, here's some great information. I think we're doing it on compliancy, which is like the 7 things that they have to know about HIPAA compliancy.
Correct.
And
yep.
This is done for you, but then you are the one that's inviting and following up. And so, yes, they're done individually, separately from these webinars here. Yeah.
I hope that lights everybody's fire, because you can see here, unlike maybe our competitor, they're not doing anything close to what we're doing to help you get out there and expose yourself out there marketing. Because again, one of the roles that I play here is research and development, and this entire year, that's all we've been doing is making sure what we have is working, what we can do to better it and improve it. These are the things that we're discovering. These are the things that are out there that are really working. Then
Eric,
again,
I'm just turning off my webinar my webcam, because I'm getting low on my laptop battery here. So I've got to get to a plug and plug it in here, but I'll be on here. I can still talk.
Okay, very good. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up. We've got about 3 more minutes to the webinar anyway. So, but again, here are your business associates, whether it's Tim or me, Patrick, any other licensees, we're here to help one another. So don't think of other licensees as your competitors. We're just all here working together. And then we've got business training. So we've got years and months and years of more training that we have. That these webinars that you're seeing right here are specifically for our licensees. So those that are on the webinar today, we do these once a week for you to get you to learn about the business, the opportunity, the support mechanisms, the marketing that we're doing, obviously the platforms that we have for you. These that you see here, these are separate. These are ones, and these have been happening since 2014, as you can see here, that Patrick started doing these just for our licensees. These happen frequently. We're having one this Friday, and then we're going to be getting ready for the webinar that we're going to be doing December the 3rd. So again, this is exciting, and it's an exciting time, and there's a lot of things that are happening. Jeff's asking how often for this marketing campaign for this HIPAA one. It's actually a 3-month campaign. So imagine, Jeff, that you were to sign up. You could get it signed up pretty quickly. You could get on this December 3rd, but then we're going to be doing another one in January and then another one in February. So imagine that you got December, January, and February, and then you're penetrating your local market for over the next 90 days. And then come March, we'll probably do another, we may give it a break. We may do another topic altogether that's not even a HIPAA topic. But what we'll do, we'll revisit this HIPAA topic again another 3 months after that, and we'll do the same 3 months because it just takes so many times to touch people's lives, and when we're doing certain marketing, you got to be out there. So imagine that you can go to your local chamber of commerce and say, again, I'm with so billing company, and you're here to invite doctors. And some of you might know doctors that are struggling with HIPAA privacy issues. I'm just here to invite them to a webinar, no cost, no obligation, and you'll be surprised how many will start calling you or hitting you up or sending you a friend request on Facebook or LinkedIn saying, hey, get with Jeff because he's going to get you to this particular webinar. So,
yeah, we usually do these webinars that you see here that we've got posted on our website. Usually 2 or 3 of these a month. And again, there's no extra cost for this, folks. We're continuing to do these because, and Eric, I failed to mention this earlier, but on all of our services and everything that you do with doctors, we make a few pennies. Now, there's no royalties that you pay to us, but we're making money on all those services. So that's our motivation to continue our licensees training and support. We want them to make lots of money. You make money, we make money. Hey, that's the American way.
Yeah. Folks, as we kind of wrap this up, we're the only medical billing company, training company, and support company that actually offers a money-back guarantee. Patrick, you want to share a little bit about that, and then I'll get everything else wrapped up here.
Yeah, it's simple, folks. If a company really believes in what they're doing, they'll offer you a money-back guarantee. Ask them if they've got a money-back guarantee. If they don't, then they probably don't believe in what they're doing, because once you've gone through our training, we don't care that you see all of our proprietary information. We want you to know everything there is to know. So in 30 days, if you don't like what you see, you just ask for your money back, and we give you the whole thing back. Now, has that happened? Eric, you know. Yeah.
It happens. It happens not frequently, but it's happened in the past. But about your training, Patrick says at the end of your online training, it is an online training. You're going to be working with our lead instructor, Cynthia Anderson. We've got just a brief little thing there, but you can see that it's online. It's on your time. You don't have to wait till we have a live training class here in Dallas. You can get started at any time with us. And here are kind of the steps. What's your next steps? What do you need to do next? And so over in the handouts, you probably already saw that there were 2 handouts. One is the research guide. So you can go over there and download that. We encourage you to do that. There's a YouTube channel. You can see that there where it says youtube.com/YABS. Patrick, what is it? 8-9 years of webinars you and I've done throughout the last few years?
There's over 100 out there, yeah, and over 100 interviews that I've done with licensees. So if you want to hear from some of our licensees that have gone through our training and started their business, just go watch some of those interviews. Some of them are an hour long, but you just get a feel for how many different people have gone through our training that are very successful out there.
Then you can ask for references. We've got references, so just get with your ABS rep and ask for the owner, the reference list there. Then ask for a live demonstration. And we didn't talk about that on today's webinar, but you could literally ask your business coach that you're working with here at ABS to give you a live demonstration of iClaim